Before you jump into these Illustrator videos that I've prepared, I just want to go over a couple things that have changed on the interface here, so it hopefully will be a better experience for you. So most of the stuff is relatively the same. It just looks a little bit different. So you can pick. You can still open up your document from the main screen that comes up. I still prefer just go to File, New, and dial in what you want. So if you want, and you don't really have to pay attention to any of these presets. You can just dial in the size you want. So if you want an 8.5 by 11, there you go. If you want the opposite orientation of that, you just click and this flip-flops it. You got the number of artboards and all that kind of stuff here. So that is good to get you started. The main thing that you'll find different is once you're inside the document, when you look at my older videos that are coming up, this is really the thing that has changed a lot. So if you want your view to look similar to mine, what I would suggest you do, I'm just going to try to maximize this in my screen real estate here. If you would like yours to look similar to mine, then here's what you're going to do is you're going to, and I talk about an equivalent of this in the videos, and that is in the videos I say, okay, if everything starts to get all messed up in your document and you want it to go back to normal, you just go up near the top here and you go to Essentials, and then you go to Reset Essentials, and everything gets put back nice in its place. Now, the only difference is if you want it to look exactly like mine, you come up here and you go to Essentials Classic, and this is going to look a lot more like the videos. And then if things get messed around, dragged out of place or whatever, then at any time you can just go to Reset Essentials Classic. Now, one of the things that that I like about the regular Essentials, so I would eventually try to get used to working with this, is that the Properties panel has become so much better that you really only need these three things open most of the time. And I'll just give you a couple quick examples here. When you have text and you click on the text, that's what the Properties panel tells you all about, what the typeface is, what size it is, and so on. When you have some type of a drawing object that you made and you select that, then the Properties panel tells you all about what you have selected. So if you make a change, it's just super easy to make the changes over here and not have to go searching for other places to make them. However, if you're using the other view, you can still get all of that done even if you don't have the properties opened up like it is opened here. But let's say you had the traditional view, which you can get just by clicking over here. Just know that in this program you can still do all of the same stuff. You just click here. And if you're not seeing the Properties panel, there's ways of changing the fill and the stroke and a whole bunch of different ways in the property. And you can open up the text panels, and then if you ever hear me talk about anything over here and you don't see it, and especially if you're not working with the Properties panel yet, there is a panel for everything in this program. So if you don't see it over here, you just simply go up to Window, you go to whatever you're looking for. So let's say that it's one of the text options that we're looking for, which happens to be one of the few that's actually nestled under something else. So if you're looking for, say, the Character panel, it's under Type and then Character, just as is the Paragraph panel. And then once you have that panel out, then you can do all the same stuff. So if I get inside of here, we can change the typeface that we were using to something else. And then you can even tuck this in here so that it is available for you next time. The other thing that I want you to see is this other new feature that works really nice for when we're doing critiques in the class. And let's say that you open up another student's work and you see this and you're about to critique the student on the work, but you can't tell what's foreground, what's background, because this extends beyond their document size. So to get a preview of what this would look like on a printed piece of paper, for example, you just go to View and you go to Trim View. All right, so those are a couple things that I'd write down. So one is to see like a finished view of your work or somebody else's work. Whoever document you happen to have in front of you, you go to View and you select Trim View. And then to bring it back to normal, you just simply click it again to uncheck it. And then the other thing is just keep your eye on the different modes that you have for the actual workspace that you're using. Again, my suggestion is that you get used to Essentials, but while you're watching my videos, you may want to have it on Essentials Classic. And with or without properties, I'd probably go like that just so you have the best of both worlds. And then that way when you click on, say, text, for example, and you have properties facing forward, it tells you about the text. And if you click on an object that was drawn, it tells you about that object, and you can make changes to those things just a little bit quicker.